What's up, boys? Petko here. Today we are going to update the choose your main spreadsheet. Well, we already updated it on stream a few hours ago, but again, for you guys on YouTube, I guess not. So we gotta do it again, give you a quick TLDR of how each spec is ranking this week, and most importantly, what has changed following last week, or I guess this week changes. Again, if you guys are not familiar of how this ranking is being done, check out the previous video on how to pretty much how we rank stuff. There's a criteria we're going by. On the right side of the screen, you can see it. So any questions, pop down below, I'll answer it. Let's begin. Alright, so first thing first, Fire Mage. Honestly, nothing has changed for Fire Mage so far. We expected some buffs coming this week. Sadly, absolutely nothing. Right now, one of the lowest performing specs currently. ST damage, AoE damage, S disaster. We're hoping for a change in the upcoming few days, weeks, Yeah, overall, again, full package is insane. Utility, defensive, and playstyle. It's all fun, but everything else pretty disastrous. PM Hunter received no changes this week, so still the same dreadful situation. Lack of consistent damage, low overall damage contribution. I would say they are much better in rating than they are in Mythic Plus right now, so if you're looking to play BM Hunter in Mythic Plus, you will be disappointed. Again, could that change next week? Absolutely yes. Balanced Druids, one of the hidden gems for low keys compared to high keys. Low keys right now, not particularly doing well. We would love to see some more adjustments on behalf of their spenders. Now, whether you're gonna buff Star Surge, Starfall, or anything to make them better, they're gonna welcome this. Playstyle, on the other hand, is quite boring. I don't like that no pulsar gameplay, but it is what it is. I can't ask for more. I would say a little bit more damage output I'll be happy with, especially when I don't have major cooldowns like CA, for example. Until then, I would say pretty much on the bottom. Hunter, this is kind of a surprising pick for some people, but Hunter has exceptionally good burst capabilities, AoE specifically, both low keys, middle keys, high keys, I guess. Hunter can do fantastic. The biggest struggle with Hunter comes with single target, one of the lowest currently in the game. It is quite impactful, especially if you're playing some tyrannical keys. You're gonna notice that you're pretty much like 20, 30, 40% behind the top classes right now on single target. So I would love to see some adjustments on Hunter. Until then, you are probably better off playing survival. Going forward, Devastation Evoker received no changes this week. Again, you guys are gonna figure out the deeper we get into the expansion release, the less changes we get, because they're trying to finalize everything. So yeah, Death Evoker, no changes. Death Evoker still have the same issues as for the past couple weeks. Very strong burst damage, on-demand damage, sustained damage, one of the lowest so far. ST is kind of mid, nothing too impressive there. Range, offensive range profile is the lowest for all the range specs currently, 25 yards. You kind of hard cut there. Defensives and utility, I don't have any complaints there, honestly. I'm pretty happy with. So more overall damage output would put Devastation much higher, especially sustained damage output. Another issue is augmentation is so strong that it's just gonna overshadow Devastation. I guess it's just a matter of like getting the proper tuning here. Outlaw Rogue, no changes this week. Outlaw Rogue are following the steps of their, I guess, sibling specs. Every week they're getting, better and better. This week, however, they will remain the same as last week. I'm pretty happy with the performance on behalf of sustained damage. Burst damage on Outlaw is something that lacks, which I'm pretty, especially if you're playing like mid to low keys. No burst means some of the time you'll be just tank damage, and it's what it is, The longer the mobs stay alive, the more damage you'll be doing. You'll catch up, and eventually you might equalize with the rest of the classes and potentially take the lead. Again, depends on the dungeon, depends on the pools. Depends on the pools because you're capped gameplay, So if your tank's just doing like 10, 15 mobs at the same time, you'll be tank damage. Until that is fixed, I would say a little bit on the lower end. Retribution Paladin. Okay, so I know a lot of you here would be excited for Retribution Paladin. Personally, one of my favorite melees to play. AoE is still fantastic. You're gonna have fun there, especially On any key level, very fast ramp up, low cooldowns, 30 seconds to 60 seconds. Single target, still a massive issue. They nerfed their single target, by the way, unknown reasons. I guess it was overperforming in rating, which I don't think so, but I don't like it. So yeah, Retribution Paladin received nothing this week. Well, they fixed their bug with the wings where they used to proc so much, so now they have a regular wing proc rate. So again, fantastic defensive profile, fantastic utility for melee DPS, very tanky as well. They just need more single target and they will climb the ladder like crazy. Destruction Lock, oh boy, oh boy. Previously, last week was the king, I guess. A king, no longer a king. They received a quite substantial nerfs, so right now they are about average performance, single target. You no longer cast Rain of Fire, now it's Chaos Bolting all the time. AoE is still gonna be somewhat okay, most definitely not a bad one. You're gonna have a good sustain on and off cooldowns. So yeah, I'm pretty not so happy that they nerfed ST that much. Perhaps a better adjustment on Chaos Bolting here would be the case. Again, defensive profile, very strong there, no complaints. Utility, no complaints there. They don't have a raid buff or a party buff, but again, remember, Hailstones, Curses, all of those can help you in your Mythic Plus key. Enhanced Shamans, again, minor changes this week, especially exclusively for Stormbringer, that will increase your damage by like 0.5% or something like that. You know, again, napkin math here. Enhanced, honestly, it is in my opinion one of the solid melees so far. I mean, although it is not by no means overpowered or anything like this, I think performance wise you can't really complain. You know, I don't think you're bottom, you're around ish mid slash above mid performers, depending on the pool sizes and your group comp. I guess this could climb higher than the current ratings, but I would say compared to most of the melees, you are about the same, you know, mid-ish performance right now. Monk got some changes though. Windwalker Monk received AoE buffs. I guess Shadow Pan buffs too, but again, Conduit still the play for Monks, unfortunately for you. Great Burst on demand. Better sustain now, better sustain damage. Again, utility-wise unchanged. They're still pretty good there. Several ways to live specific hard encounters, aka not bad defensiveness, and one of the most fun playstyles. I am looking forward to trying Monk myself this season. It looks quite fun. It does damage. What else do you want? Demon Lock, again, received also nerfs because of Diabolist. Right now, their performance will be slightly above average. With, again, all-round shape, decent sustained ST damage. Great AoE damage too. Honestly, I mean, you were quite overperforming last week. This week, you're about like mid-ish. Maybe slightly above average, I would say. Nothing else has changed for you. Survival Hunter, no changes. Again, one of the most solid specs as a melee in the current meta. Honestly, again, doesn't matter if you play low, high, mid keys. The short cooldowns that you have and the amount of bursts you can dish every couple of seconds, it's just astonishing. One of the easiest specs as well to play around. I love it myself. I played it tons on beta. Nothing to complain here. I guess the only way for them to climb the ladder is just more damage. But again, they've been nerfed 3 times in a row, so I don't even know why. Well, I know why, but you know, 3 times in a row nerfs are kind of harsh. Sub Rogue, no changes this week, chat. Again, fast forward if you don't want to listen to that. But again, I do believe Sub Rogue is, my opinion, getting up in the brackets there for one of the better melees. Good sustain single target, good burst AoE damage profile, good sustain damage as well, even off cooldowns, good defensiveness. Playstyle a little bit whack. I don't like how it plays Sub Rogue, that is, but overall can't really complain about it because you have a decent damage and very tanky and a decent utility. So yeah, I mean, you have Assa Rogue, you know, so Assa Rogue is just broken. I'll talk about that later. Unholy, Arms Warrior, no changes this week. What else can I say about Arms Warrior? Arms Warrior has amazing burst damage, great sustain damage. Utility is the only thing I don't like about Arms. Honestly, I wish they give them something, just like Fury. Just give them something, guys. Something more than that, what they have. I like how it plays out for me. Arms is quite fun. I would probably look to play arms in my raid progression this season, but we'll see. I guess depends what my team needs. Unholy, no changes. I think Unholy will be better pickup probably for raiding than DC Mythic Plus. Currently, you guys already know the king of burst damage. Well, I wouldn't say the king now, but you know, one of the kings of burst damage. Very strong damage profile, especially on AoE. Great single target too. Again, mob control, one of the best in my opinion. With grips and stuns and binding light. Binding sleet. Yeah, the AoE disturb effect. Interrupt, pet interrupt as well, right? So it's like nice mob control there. Very tanky as well. You don't have really a party-wide buff, but again, everything else you'll be able to help your team. AMZ, I guess, AMS on your parties as well. And most importantly, it's pretty fun to play. At least I have a bunch of fun playing Unholy. Havoc DH. Oh, that is a hot take. I do believe Havoc DH was actually undervalued last week, so this week went ahead, tested a little bit more. And I think Havoc DH right now is probably better than what we discussed that last week. Although again, this week they didn't get any changes. Last week they have received some of them, especially the I-beam buff now will be quite noticeable if you haven't already noticed it. So playstyle is still garbage. I hate how Havoc plays, but again, if you talk about pure performance, pure numbers, it's there. Burst damage profile, single damage, single target. I mean, private damage while doing AoE is just nutty. Yeah, playstyle one of the worst. I hate how it plays, especially if you try momentum. It's just awful, god awful. But it does damage. Utility wise, again, if you do play with a full caster team, would be fantastic, especially if you don't have vengeance right now. Fantastic. Defensive, can't complain, but obviously would love to have more. Again, Netherwalk and Blur and Night Self Sustain. You know, it's getting there. Feral Druid, no changes. Honestly, we're still quite happy with Feral Druids. Good sustain single target, good burst damage as well. Utility 1 is also great because, again, you're probably the bearer of Mark of the Wild unless you play Guardian, I guess. Several ways to live hard encounters, like for example, Barskin, Survival Instincts, Pre-Bear Form, self-sustain if you want to self-sustain, for example, with Leech or, you know, instant regrow procs. Yeah, I think overall, a lot of people will be surprised how good Pharaoh is this season. They might not be top pick, but most definitely I would say if I have to put tiers, A tier is a adamant for them. Fury Warrior, no changes this week. Again, I've attached the changes, guys, right here if you guys want to see them. Fury Warrior, honestly, I've been trying to play around with different builds, still Slayer as Fury Warrior, and I felt like if you don't take snap, I already forgot the talent right now. My head is full on other classes as well. I think the talent that they gave you CDR and the major cooldowns, I already forgot it, but I would remember it later on. I played the opposite talent and it felt like you had much more sustained damage with it, better ST as well. But again, after the Slayer buffs, I think Fury Warrior has now a better single target. But overall, I can't complain. One of the most like low barrier to entry specs in a game because it's very easy to play. Has a nice burst, good sustained damage, good single target as well. The only part I don't like about Fury is just the utility. But overall, you'll be probably able to do extremely high keys with that spec, especially if you combine that with the adequate classes too. I like Fury. Shadow Priest, one of the nutty picks this week. Last week they were probably at the bottom. This week, after the most recent buff, they are now in the conversation of a God comp. If you guys don't know, God comp is pretty much the Exodia, Augmentation, Mage, SP, Vengeance, DH, and Restus Druid. Shadow Priest, a coming back hat. Very strong AoE damage profile, very good single target, better sustained damage. Utility unchanged, but they already have good utility. Defensiveness, several ways to mitigate damage. Fun, very fun to play. I love Shadow Priest currently, especially Arcane, which I've been playing so far, has very cool animation with Halo. One of my favorite picks so far. This is what I was considering for an ult, and look at how strong it is. I would not be surprised if, Shadow Priest being picked up more and more from other people. Affliction Lock receives some nice buffs, honestly. Malefic Rupture, 20% buff. Soul Rot, 60% buff. What else? Agony got buffed by 40%. So pretty much like better ST, better AoE than last week. So yeah, I'm looking forward to be playing also Affliction, one of my second favorite specs to play after Shadow Priest. Nice gameplay on adult specs here. Nice prio while doing AoE as well. Honestly, plays very, very well. Like, in my opinion, the best lock spec right now, hands down. The only thing I don't like about Affliction Lock here would be the Vile Taint. Like, Vile Taint should be like lower cooldown, so it matches the Agony cooldown, or I guess duration. Or at least Agony should be like longer dot. Because right now in Mass AoE, when the Agony runs out, you don't really have, you know, a way to reapply it unless Vile Taint is ready. Or when I manually apply, that's kind of cringe. But yeah. Frost Mage, no changes this week. Frost Mage, in my opinion, are in a fantastic spot. Great single target, sustaining burst, amazing AoE, nice peel for the tank, utility one of the best in the game, defensive one of the best in the game. They are quite close right now with Arcane. So I guess the conversation between Arcane and Frost would be like, what is the group comp? What kind of key level is it? What key is it first of all as well? So all of this would depend whether you're gonna play Arcane or Frost Mage. Like for example, if you have huge pulls back to back, then Frost will be better. If you have like more methodical pulls with like high HP mobs in it, like for example Mists, then Arcane is brilliant in Mists, you know. But like something like Necrotic Wave, for example, or like Stone Vault, I could see Frost Mage being picked up more and more and more. Ele Shaman, oh wow, boys, wow. So Ele Shaman receive astronomical buffs, by the way. Their AoE right now is across the highest in the game right now, especially, you know, like between 5 and 7, 8 mobs. It's just brutally good. I love Ele right now. You're playing Storm build. Again, I've made a bunch of videos on Ele if you guys want to check out the previous ones. Single target is the only issue I'm having right now, not the highest. Don't have really good funnel, and there is no spread damage so far, so I would expect them, if they remain the way they are, one of the most dominant picks, and I wouldn't be surprised if they will be in the conversation for being the meta. No joke. Like Mage, Ele, Resto Druid, Oak, Vengeance is quite solid pickup. Frost DK, they receive minor nerfs on the Deathbringer. I think around percent-ish nerf, but they're still very solid everywhere. One of the best melees currently. Amazing burst damage on AoE, short cooldowns, good sustained damage, good single target, very tanky, good mob control, and it's quite fun to play. What else do you want? Assa Rogue, again, one of the most, if not the most overpowered spec currently in the game. It does brutal numbers. Uncapped AoE. Oh, I don't know if actually it's uncapped. This could be a lie. They might not have uncapped AoE. I'm not sure. I gotta check out. Or it might be partially uncapped. Either way, Assassination Rogue does insane AoE damage. Very good sustain as well. Single target, one of the highest as well. Very tanky. I wouldn't say it's quite fun to play, because if you do play low keys, sometimes you might not have enough time to ramp up, especially if the mobs don't live long enough. But the higher the key goes, the better this becomes. Absolutely great. Last but not least, oh, by the way, never mind. Last but not least is Augmentation Evoker. No changes. Still the top pick for mid to high level keys. The only spec in the game that does give damage to your team, as well as make your tank tankier, make your hero heal more, make your group pretty much survive better. In my opinion, the best specialization for mid to high level keys, period. Anyway guys, I think that's everything. And remember, every Sunday we update a tier list live on stream at 2 o'clock Central European Summertime on stream. After that, it goes on YouTube. I will be making several videos next week about like my God comp prediction, or like I guess comp prediction. I'll talk about like my top 3 melees, top 3 range, so you guys can choose. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Any questions, pop down below. I've been streaming for like 12 hours today, or like 11 hours. So bear with me, I'm pretty tired. It's been 14 hours of grind today. So if I made any mistakes, I will make sure that I get back and fix it. But yeah, any questions, poke me guys on YouTube. or Discord. It doesn't really matter. Thank you for watching, and once again, I'll see you next week, Saturday, Sunday. Peace out. Have a good one, and yeah, take care.